Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today we're going to be talking about the new LMG in Battlefield 4 that came out in the spring patch. That is the L86A2. This is back from Battlefield 3. This gun is essentially the machine gun variant of the L85 assault rifle. So it's longer, it's heavier. However, we have the exact same magazine capacity as the assault rifle version. So there isn't a lot going on here that kind of suggests that this is more of a machine gun versus an assault rifle. And in fact, if you guys remember the L86A2 from Battlefield 3, it did perform a lot like an assault rifle. However, it did have a slightly larger magazine capacity of 45 rounds instead of 30. This one has been brought back to 30 rounds, so it's essentially, if you're playing a support player and you want something that feels and performs like an assault rifle, then go for the L86A2. But remember that this gun really excels in medium to long-ish range engagements. If you're looking for kind of close quarter tear people up with lots of bullets, this is not the LMG for you. This is definitely take out a target at long range, reload, take out another target at long range, maybe get 2 kills with the magazine, but you're not going to see much more than that. Popping up the Simthic stats here, you can see it's got a 700 round per minute rate of fire. This is pretty much middle of the line when it comes to automatic weapons in Battlefield. Not crazy overpowered in close quarters, but not slow enough to be ineffective even at longer ranges. It's got a very fast muzzle velocity of 650 meters per second, which means it's going to be a lot easier to hit those targets at further ranges and hit moving targets. But I will say that one of the hardest things to get used to is the new tracer effect on all the bullets. My advice to you, if you see this crazy tracer effect that is just so annoying at range, is try to ignore it. Pretend that it's not there and just aim the gun like you normally would. Line up that red dot sight, counter your recoil so that your red dot is constantly on your target, and pay no attention where it looks like the bullets are going based on your tracer fire. Watch these long range shots right here and you can see just how insanely distracting that can actually be. And if you pay attention to the tracer fire and you try and compensate and adjust based on where it looks like your shots are going, you're going to end up missing a lot and just not getting a lot of kills with this weapon. It's actually a pretty damn accurate gun, and it just took me a while to get used to it. I thought I was missing like crazy and that the gun just had crazy inaccuracy. Just don't pay attention to that tracer fire and you'll end up getting a lot more hits. Now, like many guns in Battlefield, this one needs some attachments to help it fit its role better, and I've set it up for long-range engagements while not moving. So I've used the stubby grip and heavy barrel, and basically it becomes very, very accurate when I'm not moving. If I am side strafing, then I better hope my target is right in my face, otherwise my shots are going to become very, very inaccurate. Now, of course, there's those people out there that like bipods, but with a 30-round magazine, bipod really doesn't make a lot of sense on this weapon because you're going to be spending a lot of your time reloading in between pretty much every single kill, which is something you don't have to do on most other machine guns in this game. Now, because you have that 30-round mag, you're going to be reloading a lot, and unfortunately, you have a pretty long reload time. The short reload is 2.6 seconds, but if you hit the long reload, which is bound to happen more often than you would think, you're going to be hitting a 4-second reload, which is stupidly long for a 30-round magazine. Unfortunately, this does seem pretty realistic to the weapon's mechanics because it has a charging handle located on the opposite side of the weapon, so you literally have to flip the gun over to reach the charging handle. You'll see this in the animation when you do one of your long reloads, and it makes sense, but it's just annoying. Popping up the stats again, you can see that it's got a pretty low recoil pattern overall. The first shot might bounce the gun a little bit more than the follow-up shots, but ultimately this is not going to be a difficult weapon to control, and it's going to further cater to that long-range accuracy potential. Now, the aiming down sight accuracy is 0.25, and there are a few LMGs out there that are actually suited to be a little bit more accurate at range, but coupling this with the rate of fire, it basically brings it into, instead of extreme long-range potential, it's sort of medium to long-range potential, and that's honestly a great resting place for just about any gun in this game if you're fighting in larger open outdoor environments like Conquest Large. Now, to give you a little bit better example of what I'm talking about, the RPK-12 has a slower rate of fire than this gun, but it is a more accurate weapon. So that would be sort of your extreme long-range precision LMG. It's also got a slightly larger magazine. Then you've got the AWS, which shoots a little bit faster than this weapon, but it's got slightly more intense recoil. So you're not going to be quite as accurate, but your damage per second is going to be better. So the range on that one comes in a little bit. So this is sort of in between, say, an AWS and an RPK-12. I think my only real issue with this gun is that it kind of seems to blur the the lines between the support class and the assault class. It's like the assault class gets assault rifles, the support class gets machine guns. Oh wait, the support class now gets the L86A2, which is essentially an assault rifle. So you kind of lose a little bit of the uniqueness, the individuality of each of those classes. And even though this gun might be realistic to the way that the L86A2 actually operates with a 30-round magazine, it would be kind of nice to see it operate similarly to the one from Battlefield 3, where it had a 45-round magazine, making it feel a little bit more like a support weapon and less like an assault rifle. That being said, it is a lot of fun to use this as sort of a run and gun setup with the support class, especially on Conquest game modes, because frankly, if you're playing the support class, a lot of the times you're trying to get in very close to tanks, which means you're going to be very close to infantry as well. You got to get that C4 on the tanks. You need something that can be a little bit more aggressive, can handle adaptable environments, long range, medium range, close range. This gun definitely fits that profile. I do still wish that the reload was maybe a little bit faster, or a larger magazine would pretty much justify the longer reload. So again, I'm kind of rooting for sort of a 40-45 round mag, but that's just me. By all means, try out this gun for yourself. Let me know what you think about the stubby grip heavy barrel combination. I honestly wasn't enjoying the gun that much until I got those two attachments on it and then started basically standing still for my firefights. Before that, I was just like, yeah, this gun doesn't feel that accurate. Then again, it did take me quite a while to warm up to just the tracer effects in the new patch. They are driving me crazy personally, and it's just something that I've got to like trick my brain into ignoring the tracer effects, saying this is not necessarily where my bullets are going, or don't compensate for where it looks like the bullets are going. Just aim at your target with your red dot sight like you always did, and you should be fine. So that wraps it up for this review on the L86A2. As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.